This is Warren Vanderhill with the Muncie Labor Oral History Project interviewing Jerry Jones. The date is January 10th, 2006. Jerry, I want to begin by thanking you for agreeing to help me with my project, which I think is a very important one for the history of this community, because not much has been done on the importance of the labor unions in our town. But I want to begin with a question that I've asked all the people I've interviewed, and that is if you could start out by telling me a little bit about your family and you and how you happened to get to Muncie, Indiana.
Well, when I graduated from high school, I was working in a TV repair shop, making $40 a week. And then there's an opportunity to go to work at Marhovers, and came here on a Sunday.
Okay. Where was the TV repair shop?
In Connersville, Indiana.
Okay.
And then the employment office was open that Sunday, and to try to get some employees from Marhovers, and my brother and I went to work there.
Okay. Do you know what year that was?
September 61.
1961. Okay. Tell me about your educational background.
High school, a couple other classes, some labor classes at Ball State. That's basically.
Let me ask you about a number of people I've interviewed have talked about these labor classes at Ball State. I mean, was that something that unions in Muncie did, that they sent the leadership people to classes?
There was a instructor out of IU that gave the classes at Ball State.
Okay.
And they sent literatures to the union.
Okay.
And then that's where I was running that.
Oh, okay. So there were a number of different people from different unions who took those classes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What were the classes about, basically?
Anything from negotiations to proper grievance filing to labor law. One class was just labor law.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They were very good instructors.
Well, you started talking about being in TV repair, but what I'd like you to do at this point in our interview is tell me a little bit about the different jobs that you've had in your life.
From the beginning?
Okay. Well, we can pick out the highlights.
Basically, as a kid, the first thing I did was in 6th grade was I worked in a grocery store, stocking shelves.
Okay.
Of course, cleaning them up. And then from there I went to caddying at the golf course. And then the next major job was a pen boy at bowling alley, which set pens every night after school.
I did that too.
That built some muscles up.
Yeah, right.
And then from there I went to TV repair shop.
Okay.
And then from there to Marhovers.
What kinds of different jobs did you have at Marhovers?
Quite a few.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like stuck at one place very long. I moved from one department to the other.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit more.
I started out at Marhovers as dropping snoots. Hog heads.
That's what you call it, dropping snoots?
Dropping snoots.
Okay.
You just broke the snoot back over after the cut. The machine would come around and tear it off the face.
Oh, okay.
Then the next job was splitting heads.
Splitting heads?
Yeah. These people would feed these heads to you.
Yeah.
The jawbone would be pulled out of it, and you take it and set it over here, and the lever just goes up and down. You stick one in, when it cracked, you pulled it out this way and stuck another in there, and dipped the brain out in the pituitary gland.
They still do that way these days?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But everything at Marhovers was hogs.
There for a while it was beef.
Oh, it's beef.
They had the last beef kill they had was the top 7 in the nation.
Oh, okay.
As far as modernization.
Yeah. But when people in this community think of Marhovers, they think mostly of hogs.
Yes. Yeah. The plant opened up out in Iowa, I believe it was. Anderson was the man, I think, that ran it. Opened it up.
Yeah.
He could pack the beef.
Yeah.
Ship it to Muncie.
Yeah.
Cheaper than what Marhovers could do.
Oh, okay.
Kill and butcher.
Okay. So you went into this job, and basically, when you're talking about being involved in the hogs, is this something that you learned on the job? I mean, or somebody just taught you how to do this? Or?
You learn very quick.
Okay.
They kept coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. At that time, I believe we was running something like 350 to 400 hogs an hour.
An hour?
An hour. And then it got up to, if everything was running really smooth, they got to 600 an hour.
600 hogs an hour?
It just developed faster as they made changes. But it wasn't a consistent 100. It was just the change speed was that.
Yeah.
And they'd end up something like $5.50 at times.
$5.50 an hour?
Yeah, for a period of time. And then something would happen.
Yeah.
Chain break or hog come through abscess, and they'd have to stop and clean everything up.
Yeah. How many shifts did they run out there?
On the Hog Kill, just one.
Oh, just one, okay.
At one time, they had 2 shifts on the Beef Kill.
Oh, 2 on the Beef Kill, okay.
Yeah, the other departments ran 2 shifts.
Yeah, okay. Did that go 6 days a week, 7 days, or?
Yeah, somebody was there 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
There was jobs that was running shipping.
Yeah.
Of course, truck driving department.
Right.
Cleanup, maintenance, those kind of jobs. But the kill and the cut, the major departments were in canning. It was just 5 days a week most of the time. Occasionally there was a 6th day.
What was the largest number of employees they had out there when they were really going good?
I'd say in the union we had about 700 some at one time, and everybody all together was close to 1,000.
Okay.
Both collar workers.
Okay. And these were all members of the same union?
No, management probably had about 200 people.
Okay.
Yeah, we had over 700.
What local was this?
P105.
P?
105.
P105 of the
Amalgamated Meat Cutters Butcher Workmen's Association.
Amalgamated Meat Cutters and Butchers
Workmen's Association.
Workmen's Association. Okay.
International.
Okay. When did you first become involved in union activities?
I left there in '66, went in service.
Did you get drafted or did you enlist?
I got told.
Okay. We want you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was more of I got my notice in July '65, and then they didn't draft because I was married. I already went and took my physical over. And then they decided they was going to draft you if you didn't have any kids. So I was drafted in '66, returned in September '66, returned in like March of '69.
Okay. So you went back to Marhoffers.
Yeah.
They have to hold your job for you?
Yes, but they didn't like that.
Oh, okay.
I ended up going to the Department of Labor in Chicago to get that straightened out.
Oh, really? So when you came back, they said, okay, sorry, we're not going to give you a job? Or?
They said, yes, you can go back to work, the same job you had when you left here. And I said, well, the law says I can be like on an escalator. If I'd stayed here, I'd have been at such and such place, and that's the job I think I want.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. So I filed a claim with the Department of Labor.
Yeah.
They sent a man down named, I don't think of his name. But anyway, him and Miss Hayes, which I do not care for one bit.
Who's Miss Hayes?
She was a personnel manager.
Oh, okay.
And they had a pretty good talk.
Yeah.
I was wrong and they was right, so I went to this guy's.
Okay, you were talking about getting your job back after you've been over in Vietnam.
Yes, so they said that I didn't have the right to do what I thought I had the right to do. I'd done some studying on the law on it. So I called up Chicago and asked to talk to Mr. King's boss. That's the way I stated it, and this guy answered, got on the phone, and he said, well, yes, come on up. So when I went up there, he was surprised that I did. Normally nobody shows up.
Okay.
He said, I looked through your file, and you're right. Mr. Carson King's wrong. I said, I thought so. He said, let's go talk to him.
Okay.
We went in there, and oh, he was a nice guy then.
Who's Carson King?
He was the man that came here to talk to Shirley Hayes about the escalating part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that part got straightened out.
So to make a long story short, you got your job back and the escalator did apply.
Right.
So you got credit for being in
got
the
credit
service.
for it, and some of the others got credit too that deserved it.
Yeah.
Once they found out about it, of course, a word like that spreads quick.
Yeah.
And we got that part straightened out. She just didn't like anybody telling her she's wrong.
Oh, okay. There are people like that.
Yeah.
So when you came back, you got more involved in union activities?
Yes.
Well, tell me something about that. How'd that happen?
Just didn't like what was happening, and I had a tendency to speak up.
Okay. So you eventually got elected to be the head of the union? Or?
Yeah, I was a steward, and a committeeman, and then the president of the union.
Okay. How long were you president of the union?
Tomorrow was closed down just a few months.
Oh, okay. So from what, can you give me the time?
I would say 3 or 4 months.
You were president?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But you've been involved in union activities before that?
Quite a bit before.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what ways did the union at Marhoefer's function? I mean, can you tell me a little bit about the operations of the union? Because you did all the different kinds of union jobs.
The unions, we had a local representative, which was a steward in each department,
right,
on each shift. And then you had a committeeman, which represented an area of the packing plant.
Okay.
Like the hog kill, hog cut had theirs.
Yeah.
The canning department, sausage slicing room, sausage kitchen was another area.
Yeah.
Just each area was a combination of departments would have one committeeman. And the night shift had a committeeman.
Okay.
And then you had your financial officers, recording secretary, secretary treasurer,
yeah,
vice president.
So these people would get together regularly to.
When we have grievances, we would have a meeting after we accumulate so many grievances, and we'd have a meeting with management and discuss the things.
Okay.
Mr. LaRue was pretty good for working fair with most of them.
What is his name?
Bert LaRue.
L-A-R-U-E?
Yes.
Bert LaRue.
Yeah.
Okay. He was the management side.
He was the one that handled all the grievances.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a reasonable person.
Okay.
I mean, he did his job reasonably fair.
Okay.
Of course, he wasn't his boss. I mean, he
Yeah.
had his boss, but he done it reasonable.
Okay. Well, one of the things I'm really interested in over the timeline that your career at Marhoefer's and other people I've talked to at Muncie Chevrolet and Warner Gear is the relationship between management and labor. How would you describe the relationship between management and labor at Marhoefer's while you worked there?
I honestly think and believe that prior to when John Marhoefer Jr. took over running the plant,
right,
things went pretty darn smooth.
Okay.
I mean, someone in upper management would come up to you and tell you what he thought. If you said something back, so what? They'd tell you back.
Yeah.
There wasn't no really defensive stuff.
Right.
And then when Marhoefer came in and John Marhoefer left, I mean Hartmeyer.
Right. So John Hartmeyer left,
Yeah.
and John Marhoefer
John
Jr.
Marhoefer Jr. I don't know if he was junior or not, but anyway.
He took Hartmeyer's place.
No, he came in before Hartmeyer left.
Okay.
And then he brought in a guy named Dick McCarthy,
Okay.
which was a younger guy and fresh out of college or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And he, in my opinion, didn't like the senior supervisors.
Okay.
They had their standards that they went by, and employees usually worked very good for him. And he didn't like that. He wanted the younger guys running the place.
Okay.
And then we lost a lot of the senior supervisors that had the experience of mixing the right proper meat and this and that, and could get people to work for him.
Yeah.
And he was more of a demanding, dictating type of person.
Okay.
Now, Hartmeyer, he might call you a stupid son of a...
Yeah, you can say that.
You know, if you call him that, he just go ahead and right on down the line. But as McCarthy, he kind of want people to yes or no sir stuff.
So there's a real change then in the relationship between labor and management from Hartmeyer and Marhoefer Jr. to McCarthy.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct. Big change.
Okay.
Yeah. I even had a guy named Waters. He became the plant manager of the inside the plant.
Yeah.
Okay. He would walk around there, and most of the time he'd look down at the bricks on the floor.
Yeah.
But he could see what was going on.
Yeah.
And one of the guys told him that, these guys around here are thinking, you must think you're Jesus Christ, where you walk around there. He says, I'm pretty damn close. And this arrogant type of attitude, that's what he thought.
Huh.
Yeah. Him and I didn't get along very good.
When does this change in terms of the years you worked there begin to take place? I mean, when did the guys like you in the union begin to see, this really isn't going so well?
Oh, that was pretty easy to see when McCarthy started running things.
Okay, and can you put a time on that? I mean, when that was?
I would say somewhere, gosh,
When did Marhoefer?
mid-70s maybe?
Okay. When did Marhoefer's close down finally?
78.
Okay, so by the early 70s, mid-70s, you could really sense as the president of the union this is going bad?
I think everybody in the plant could sense that when the senior supervisors or department head were being eliminated, moving out.
Okay.
McCarthy started being more forceful.
Okay.
I think that started the turn.
Okay. When you say eliminated, I mean, were these guys actually let go, or they were assigned to other jobs?
Or reduced from their job to another type of job.
Oh, okay. Huh.
And
But these were guys who really knew the business.
Oh yes, they've been there for many years. They was more like the John Hartmar type.
Yeah.
You know, you do your job, that's all I want. Hell, get it done right.
Right.
If you didn't do it right, you got told.
Yeah.
And of course you learned from it.
Yeah.
You didn't get away with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But they showed some appreciation when you did the work.
So it's apparent then, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, that by the mid-1970s that things aren't looking too good out there.
I'd say that's pretty damn good.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say right when the point came where John Marlborough took over, and I'm not just because he's John Marlborough,
Yeah.
but when then Dick McCarthy came in, that's when the things turned.
Okay. All right. So it's fair for me to say then that as far as Marhoffers is concerned, the relationship between labor and management used to be pretty good, but it really began to go downhill when there were changes in senior leadership.
Yeah, it was more of a, you do this, I don't care what happened, this is where we're going to do it.
Yeah. Now, was the number of workers there was still the same? I mean, things were going pretty well?
Yes, at close to time, we had better than 700 inside that plant, as I recall.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the membership in the union, counting the retirees and everybody, was like 1,100.
Oh, really? So it was a big union.
Yeah, it was a pretty good sized union.
Okay, well then the big question to ask you, because you were there when this happened, you know, looking back as you think about this, why did the whole thing go under?
In my opinion,
Yeah.
Marhofer spent too damn much money on things he didn't need to.
Oh, okay.
Took in some of the odds, get them a revolving loan, as you know.
Yeah.
He had that spent, used up within probably 2 weeks, was back talking to Larry Helms, I believe it was, at the bank,
Yeah.
just to see if they could get some more of that money that was brought in.
Right.
You know, the bank man, he told me that they didn't think Marhofer would make it when they did loan the money, but they thought he could carry him on for another so many years, and the amount of money the city would have made off of the employees there would reasonably be the good reason to loan the money.
Yeah.
See? But he was through that money and back talking with Larry, I think, in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Ken Irvin could tell you quite a bit about that.
Oh, okay. Well, how does he figure in this? Because
He's
of
the,
economic development, or?
He was the guy that was in reference to the city revolving loan program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Bob Cunningham as mayor at that time.
Right. Okay. Okay. So was it, you know, when Marhoffers decides to close down? Because I lived here then, but I was out at Ball State and didn't really think that much was going on. All of a sudden, they announced they're going to shut their doors.
Well, what happened? Talcott, which was a company, a financial company out of Chicago.
Talcott?
Talcott, T-A-B-B-O-C-T or something like that.
Okay.
But prior to this now, Marhofer still had a small plant in Chicago,
Right.
Evansville, Jeffersonville.
Right.
And then you had your Indiana refrigeration,
Right.
which was the trucks and the refrigeration unit.
Yeah.
Well, those were separate units in reference to Marhofer Packing Company Incorporated.
Yeah.
So he decided to take the truck drivers, empty trucks. They went to Chicago, backed right into that plant, loaded everything up they could in those trucks as fast as they could, and hauled ass. So nobody would be aware of what they were doing. So why that took place, I don't know. I think maybe he's concerned about Talcott saying, no, you ain't taking it.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to take it.
Uh-huh.
So he brought that stuff back to the plant, and everybody at the plant's talking about it. And of course, truck drivers told everybody what was going on after they got back.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened to the money from that part of it.
Oh, okay.
Then he tried to keep the Indiana refrigeration and cold storage units separate from the bankruptcy of the packing company.
Okay, so the packing company declared bankruptcy.
Right.
Okay.
And then he tried to keep those separate.
Yeah.
But found out that the money coming from the packing company was being used at the Jeffersonville plant, and the trucking and the refrigeration.
Yeah.
There's money connection to all three of them, and
Right.
these people were making a little more money, but those were owned solely by John Marwood.
Oh, okay.
And when they found that out, then they was trying to keep that covered, but somehow the records got looked at,
Yeah.
and then had to throw it all the way in the tile for the bankruptcy.
Huh. Okay, so you're the president of the local. How do you find out about all this stuff? How, you know, that things are really going bad.
When you got a good local union, everybody wants to seem like try to help you, and they pick up this information there, or
Right.
they'll drop information there, and then somebody will say this. It's
Yeah.
just word of mouth, feed it around, and then these papers comes in that,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
that's to say who did this, do that, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's needed.
Okay. So there was, from your perspective, a lot of brotherhood among the unions in this community at that time.
Well, see, eventually it got to the bankruptcy court down in Indianapolis, and then the union was not negotiating a contract,
Right.
and I was told to come down there. So I went down there, and the judge ordered me to hold a election. I mean, a voting as to whether the employees wanted it, members wanted it, or did not want it.
Right.
And they sent a representative here to monitor it.
Yeah.
The vote was like 400 plus for it, not for it.
Yeah.
And like, I think we had 4 or 6 votes that was wanting it, wanting to accept it.
Right.
So that's a good percentage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
And the monitor here, he was very pleased with the way the behavior of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we went back down there to give that report to the judge, he and the trustees for these others, creditors,
Yeah.
there was 2 of them came up to me and they said, well, that's the tightest union I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But the issue was basically that Dubuque said they'll do this, which is almost like a kick in the ass,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no need of it. I mean,
This is Dubuque Packing?
yes, they spent more money, I was told, and I think the records will show this. I saw them, I think, in buying equipment out there. If they took that amount of money, they could have had the whole mess. If they recognized the contract
Right.
within reason.
Right.
We didn't think that you should have said, okay, Jones, you've worked here 15 years.
Yeah.
We're going to give you credit for 15 years.
Right.
But we really thought that you should have fitted in the slot of
Right.
your seniority and your job seniority.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I didn't think they owed me that 15 years I had
Yeah.
already in there, and I don't think anybody else. Of course, we grabbed it; they'd offered it to us.
Yeah. Sure.
But they didn't want our truck drivers, so there was a large group of senior employees that was going to be without their type of work. And being they just basically knew the truck driver and not how to do this and
Yeah.
do that, they wasn't coming on the plant unless they knew how to do the job.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And if somebody had an injury or a
Mhm.
bad back or heart or health problem, they didn't come back to work.
Yeah.
They could screen anybody out they wanted to.
Mhm.
And that's not a union,
Yeah.
in my opinion. We all come in or we don't come in.
So is this Dubuque's offer to take this over, or is that what this was? Or?
That was, and the International Union said that the Brotherhood of the Packing House Owners, if one of them decides they want to buy a plant
Right.
through bankruptcy,
Yeah.
then the rest stays out of it until they get their.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So nobody else was
Yeah.
get involved in it.
Oh, okay. So no Armour or Swift or any of that kind of
No.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the packing industry was very tight at that time. They
Yeah.
were making money.
Right. Right.
MG's over Anderson, they didn't work on borrowed money. Marhover was working on a loan out Talcott out in Chicago, which was like 16% interest.
This is MG you're talking about, and that's EMGE over in Anderson?
Yeah.
MG Packing.
MG Packing. That was family owned. They had a plant down at Fort Branch.
Right.
But they claimed they didn't work on borrowed money.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't afford it. They wasn't doing it.
Yeah. So what finally happened? Did Dubuque take it or not?
No. Oh, Dubuque came in and bought the equipment, but Dubuque was just keeping everybody out of it so they could buy the equipment.
Oh, okay.
Bob
Okay.
Cunningham asked me at mayor at that time to
Yeah.
go with him to Dubuque and talk to him.
Yeah.
So we went there, left early in the morning, went over there, and they didn't give us darn who we were.
Yeah.
You know, they was reasonably polite,
Yeah.
but it was a wasted trip.
Yeah.
The old man over there, he came in the room and he says, "Let me tell you boys something real quick. You don't make money off of hogs in the state of Indiana." That was enough right there.
Yeah.
You know, but
You think that's true? I mean, you couldn't make money on hogs anymore in Indiana?
I think at that date, I think that was the problem. But I think as time went on, it reverted back to where they could make it.
Oh, okay.
But you know, tonnage per man hour increased tremendously over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So I know population increases, but not in reference to the tonnage per man hour that was putting out. So some packing houses were going to close.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And that year, the International Union said that there was 21 packing houses closed in the nation.
Oh, God.
How big they were, I don't know.
Yeah. But Marhofer's wasn't the only one then?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, so go back to where this isn't going to work out with Dubuque. And so you're the president of the local. How do you find out that this thing is going south? It's going to end. It's going to close.
Oh, we figured it's reasonably noticeable when Top Truck came in, when some of his buddies had guns. He didn't himself come in, but the force came in right in the office and says, no money goes out, all money comes in, we take, this is what's going to happen. And there was no...
and that was it?
No discussion. This is it.
And
We are the boss now.
And there was no work after that?
No work after that. You cleaned up. The number of hogs there went through the kill. That was into the kill department. Then they went through the cut the next day. That was into that. And then the canning department, the curing, the slicing. They just slowed down as the stuff ran out. You just kind of let it out.
So how many guys did this put out of work?
Counting management and union, I'd say there's probably close to 900.
And so on a certain date, once this all happened, you were done with the processing of those hogs, that shut down, and that shut down forever.
That's it.
Do you remember what day that was?
Oh, my notes were...
Oh, okay, okay. But this is 1978.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. And so from that point on, there's never been any meatpacking operation in Muncie, Indiana?
Not on the scales of...
Right, yeah. I'm not talking about, mom and pop out in the backyard or something
Tom's
like that.
meat
I'm not talking about Tom's or anything like that, yeah. But on that scale. Just for historical reference, was Kuhner Packing the predecessor of Marhofer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kuhner is the beginning, and then Marhofer takes over Kuhner?
Yeah, the old man Marhofer.
Right.
Him and Kuhner were together.
Okay.
And I appear to be a decent relationship
right.
there. And Kuhner just age-wise, he drops out of it.
Okay.
Marhofer comes on. Hartmar was one of the top salesmen, and apparently he made some pretty good money, or had the money, so he purchased into the packing company.
Okay.
And I understand that John Marhofer Sr. was killed in a plane crash in South America, which he went down there to open up a packing line.
Oh, okay. And then Marhofer, the young Marhofer, was the one who was in charge when it went under.
Well, Hartmar more or less ran it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He had his people that did their jobs.
Right.
Plant manager, day plant superintendent, night plant superintendent.
Oh, okay.
But he kept the people in there that had the experience of it.
Okay. All right.
And he was reasonable. I mean, he was a hard-nosed sucker.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
I knew him.
He called me one day there, and he said, I was in Union, he says, I want to talk to Jones. And so he gave me the phone, and I said, yes, it's him. He says, are you that no-good son of a bitch, communistic son of a bitch? He said, this is John Hartmar. I said, well, I'll tell you, normally I don't put up that shit. I said, you're at the other end of the phone, so you can say what the hell you want. He said, I'd just like for you to come down here and talk to me. He said, bring a couple guys with you. But that's how he started it out.
Yeah, I always thought he was pretty gruff.
Yeah, but he was very reasonable.
Yeah.
He came on the kill floor one day. I think that was close to Carter was plant manager, day plant superintendent. Yeah. And they decided they didn't need all these guys on that kill line.
Yeah.
So he pulled 5 or 6 guys off of it, eliminated those jobs.
Huh.
Always coming through there had the hair on them. The inspector seen some hair on them. That stopped. Run up again. There's another hog got some hair on it. Stop the chain. Get that cleaned up.
Yeah.
And then got to losing a lot of tonnage.
Yeah.
Hartmar came up there that one day and he called Carter, had him come up there, and right in the center of the floor, he stopped everything. He said, you stupid son of a bitch, you're getting money out of my pocket now. Get the people back on the line now.
Yeah.
or your ass is going to be out of here. And they were put back
They were
up there.
put back on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no discussion. He was loud. He wanted the
Yeah.
people on the lines to hear what he said.
I guess. God. It's a larger picture from your perspective as a person who was involved with the union for a long time. What do you think that unions have done for workers?
I think, personally, that unions has tried to get too much.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, I think you need unions, and in reference to saying that everybody is protected evenly or treated equally.
Right.
You know, this is my buddy. He's the boss. He's going to take care of me.
Yeah.
I think you got to have unions to eliminate that stuff.
Okay.
Okay, or the male-female relationship goes
Yeah.
on, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that some of these plants in Muncie, I know that, you know, they'd be off of work from Thanksgiving to the first of the year,
Yeah.
and they was drawing as much pay as if they was working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, but to do that, somebody's giving them that money,
Yeah.
so somebody's going to be paying more for the product of that money.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just by the same token, I think these
Yeah.
chiefs of the NCOs or CEOs are overpaid too.
Okay.
I'm more of the type of person that thinks you should be paid for what you do, fairly paid. And just because you do a darn good job don't mean you should have a bonus.
But basically, you think that unions, in the larger picture, have been really good for the workers.
For the workers.
Yeah.
Yes. In my opinion, the only thing that, a quick opinion, is that they got a little greedy.
Okay. Well, let me ask you then about two sides of this, as I've asked all the people I've interviewed. What do you think are some of the advantages of unions? What are some of the pluses and minuses?
I think the biggest plus is all the employer should be treated equal. Okay, there's no favoritism between one and the supervisor.
Right.
And it's hard to get management to recognize that when you do show it to them.
Yeah.
Even at the Postal Service, I was the president of the union there.
Okay.
And that was something they didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
You really had to make it very plain to them that was going on.
Yeah. Okay.
You could tell them that. But one day I was taken over to Marlowe's office. Over to the office to see LaRue.
Mm-hmm.
The supervisor was upset, so he says, "Come on, we're going over there." So he wasn't in. Mr. LaRue wasn't in. Hartmeyer came down the hall. Marlowe came down the hall, and I said, "Let's just get this straightened out." I went down there and I said, "Mr. Marlowe, I'd like to talk to you." He said, "Okay." He just sat down in his chair behind his desk.
Yeah.
I said, "We got a situation down there in the plant where your management people are pushing the supervisors to the point that they are having trouble themselves, and they end up having to tell lies just to get done what the plant managers want."
Yeah.
Well, he came up out of that chair. He said, "My supervisors don't lie." And I right back in his face, and I said, "By God, they do, and you goddamn it need to learn it."
Yeah.
And he sat down, and then next thing I know, they had security over there to escort me out of the plant.
Oh, gee. God, Jones, gee.
I
What do
was
you...
not allowed to go through the plant. I had to go around the plant to my car.
Well, you talk about some of the advantages of the unions, then what are some of the disadvantages for workers of unions?
Disadvantages.
Yeah, it can't all be,
Can't all be good.
seashells and balloons.
Yeah. I've seen in my experience at different, like I said, President Marlowe's, and then at the Postal Service, I've seen where some of the union officials, representatives, would take advantage of their position.
Okay.
We had one that they was going to create a job, and of course they told the committeeman about it before they did it, Marlowe's, and he said, "That's not a good job, I want that."
Oh,
And he had it set up where he got it.
Oh, okay.
That was corrected though.
Yeah, okay. Okay. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is contract negotiation. I mean, how important was it for you to look at what you thought the profits were in terms of, okay, we're going to go for wages, we're going to go for pensions, we're going to go for health care? How did you do that?
That was done more or less through the international.
Oh, okay.
See, this packing company, the union got this,
Right.
and they try to keep everybody in the same perspective.
Okay.
They didn't want us to be working at lower wages than what they was in Anderson
Right.
or Indianapolis.
Right.
So we tried to negotiate right along the lines.
Okay.
And at Marlowe's, we was rather we wasn't the first ones to start the negotiation.
Okay. So it wasn't like, say, some of the UAW locals here, like Warner Gear, Chevrolet, where they had a lot of local issues that they would work on.
Yeah, the local issues is what we try to work on.
Oh, okay.
And there again, you want to be very careful with the wording that you use, because if it's not black or white,
Right.
then you got grievances after grievances deciding which way it's supposed to go.
Right. Okay. During your time at Marhofer's, did you have any called strikes or wildcats?
They almost had a walkout when they fired me.
Okay. All right.
That was very close.
Well, tell me about that. How'd that happen?
Just when I told Marhofer that his supervisor was lying,
Okay.
and he came up out of the chair and leaned toward me,
Okay.
and I leaned back in his face. And
So
said,
he let you go at that point?
oh yeah, I was pretty quick getting me out of there then.
Okay. Then how'd you get back?
Negotiation, arbitration.
How'd you do
I was off about 2 or 3 months, and then
Really?
then they brought me back and put me back to work. And then when the arbitration was settled, I didn't get any pay. And when that arbitrator made his award out,
Yeah.
I showed it to the man at the IU University teaching the class of labor law out there. He said, well, he can't do this. I said, yes, he can. You know he can. He did it.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, but let me use this for one of my class projects.
Yeah.
And they sent it to Adjutant General, I believe it was that.
Yeah.
And they tried to get it overturned,
Yeah.
but even them, they couldn't
Huh.
get it done. But he kept that for one of his.
But so there weren't any strikes while you were there.
No, we didn't have any. There was a strike when I was not when I was in the union.
Right.
It seemed like there was a strike just after I came back from work.
Oh, okay.
I mean, back from
Yeah.
work.
But by contrast with some of the other unions in town, you didn't have a lot of wildcats and
No,
strikes.
we never had a wildcat. You got a lot of money sitting there in that plant. You know, you
Got
want
those hogs there.
Yeah, and if you walk out, the production has to go on, otherwise it just starts deteriorating.
Yeah.
If it sits there for a period of time, the inspector's going to condemn it all,
Yeah, that's true.
and it's a heck of a cleanup.
How far away from here geographically, just a personal interest of mine, did these hogs come?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I
Mostly Indiana?
wouldn't think it'd be 100 miles.
Oh, real? 100 from 100 miles in there? That's where you got all your hogs?
I'd say within 100 miles, no doubt about it.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, I would think that.
Okay. At
To tell you the truth, I don't know.
I never really thought about it. I don't know what kind of mileage you got for hog production for bringing hogs to meat plants.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just figured it.
What role did race or racial issues play in union activities at Marhofer's?
Well, I don't think we had any problems all racial over there.
Okay.
It did at one time when the federal government says you got to hire these group of black women. Your ratio is low.
Okay.
You got to hire some black women.
Oh,
And
okay, we were talking about racial issues at Marhofer's and the union.
racial between the employees, there wasn't. I mean, it was just, if there was a problem, it was just individual problems. It wasn't because one was white, one was black, or male or female. I don't think so. I think that you just worked together. You didn't care who he was.
Do you have any idea, just kind of as you remember this off the top of your head, what percentage of African Americans worked there?
I never did know.
So, because I've heard it was pretty large.
It's just they was just another worker.
Okay, all right.
I mean, and they treated me the same. It was just
Yeah.
that you didn't look at one that way.
Okay. What about were there women who played leadership positions in the union?
Yes, they had the same right as anybody else.
Okay.
Yeah. Lois Moonaham was one of the most boisterous one.
Well, what's her name? Lois?
Yes, Lois Moonaham.
How do you spell the last name? Do you remember?
Mooneyham, I believe.
Moneyyham.
I believe so.
Okay. She's still around here?
Out towards Rorton, I believe.
Out toward Rorton.
Yeah.
Okay. Lois Mooney.
Yeah.
And she was active in the union?
Yeah, she was the women's auxiliary president.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a little confrontation, but her and I were very, very good friends. We might have had our disputes,
Yeah.
but when that was cleared up, or whether it's cleared up or not,
Yeah.
we're still very good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she might be a good person to talk to about the role of women out there.
Yes, she would. Yeah. And if you can't get a hold of her, I can give you another one. Burl Patton.
Burl?
Yeah.
BU.
I don't know if she's in Florida or she's here in Muncie right now. But her husband, Jim Patton, is a regular friend of mine.
Oh, I know Jim Patton, yeah.
Yeah, he ran for president at the same time I did.
Oh, okay.
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 We worked together in the accounting department.
Yeah. Okay.
There was some professor from Ball State was involved in our closing of the plant. Hannaford?
John Hannaford?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was a very dear friend of mine.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
His
passed,
son
he
comes
passed
out.
away a few years ago.
Yeah, his son comes out to the golf shop now.
Oh, Beck?
Beck.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
see
he-
Beck quite a bit.
Yeah. You just tell him Jerry said he's not welcome.
Okay, I'll tell him that. I see him over in the gym every once in a while working out with his wife.
They're both wonderful.
They are really nice folks.
Yeah.
The last formal question I have is when I came to Muncie in the late 1960s to join the history department at Ball State, a guy who used to live in Muncie, wasn't living here then, said to me, "You know, Warren, I don't know if you want to go to Muncie because that's a really tough union town." You think that was an accurate view of Muncie in the late
Muncie
60s?
was a union town, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what he's meaning by tough union town, but union, yes.
I think he meant that, as I perceived it, that this was a town in the late 1960s where labor was really organized and they were willing to stand up to management for what they thought was their fair share.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say 80% of it was fair share.
Okay. 20% wasn't.
Marine Corps teaches is always 10%. In this case, I'm throwing another 10.
Okay. All right. I could agree with that. You think that's changed?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
To start with, in the packing industry, when that plant I was telling you out in Iowa that you processed the meat, packaged and everything was cheaper.
Yeah.
Those were more Spanish, Mexicans coming in there.
Okay.
No unions. They worked very cheap, and you can't blame them people.
Sure.
You know, to them that was a heck of a good income.
Yeah.
That's when it started to erode, started falling apart. And then when the AFCO airlines,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, you mean the ATA thing with the controllers?
controllers
Yeah, when Reagan broke the union.
broke them. Yeah. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
To me, that's when the international unions should have, AFL-CIO should have been said, hell no.
Yeah.
You know, that was a kick in the rear,
Okay.
and that was showing the weakness.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Reagan did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I say the union did wrong, and not,
Yeah.
you know, then people shouldn't have walked off their job. Just like the Postal Service, I don't think they should ever walk off the job.
Yeah. No, nor do I. Right.
You know, you got jobs like there in New York City, the sanitation. I don't think that.
Yeah.
You know, but I think the law should also be set up to where they have to negotiate fairly and quickly.
Yeah.
Not the management say, well, we're at the upper hand. They can't do a damn thing. They can't walk off the job, so we can postpone it.
Yeah.
I think that's wrong. But the government should have the laws laid out simple where that stuff doesn't happen. I don't think people should be able to walk off the job.
Yeah. Well, do you think that those days in Muncie, the kind of Muncie as a union town that I described to you in the late 60s on into the 70s, you think that's ever going to come back?
No.
Why?
The proper wording.
Yeah.
The immigrants coming in.
Okay.
You get I don't care, they're being used.
Okay.
You know, they're not being treated proper. But again, they shouldn't be coming into this country like they're coming in there.
Okay.
To me, if Russia could defend their borders, why in the heck can't we?
Yeah.
You know?
So as long as you've got that kind of labor force, you really can't have as effective a union movement as you once had in this country.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, those are all the formal questions I have, Jerry, but at this point in my interviews, I always give my people being interviewed a chance to add anything they want about anything. And so here's your opportunity to add any reflections on your work career, on your life, particularly working with unions, that you might like to say.
I just think during the cycle of the world, I kind of got lucky being in this period.
Okay. So I mean, so you look at this as a period, and I, as a historian, must tell you I do too, as a time when a person could go on the line with a good union and a good plant and make a decent living and provide for his family.
Right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, again, I'm not putting words in your mouth. Do you think that those days are gone forever?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So it ain't coming back.
It ain't coming back.
Okay.
No.
So you're not going to be able to provide for your family and have a middle-class life in America if you're working at Walmart.
That'd be darn hard to do. You better have two wives and have both of them working.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for agreeing to participate in my project. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.